Hello, Messiah, and happy day after Thanksgiving. It's my pleasure here on this Friday to bring you this devotional. I hope folks had a safe and good and well Thanksgiving. I know it was probably different than Thanksgivings in the past, and hopefully it'll be different than Thanksgivings that are to come in the future. And those times of being together with family or friends will be back to something more associated with normal. My house is a busy place tonight. There's activity seem to be going on everywhere, and there's only three of us in the house as there's been all fall. But I had to take refuge in the laundry room to bring you this devotion. There's a gaming going on in terms of my 12-year-old is online with some friends, and Kirsten is somewhere in the house doing jazzercise, I think. So it's a busy place, and I'm in the laundry room bringing you this devotion. I want to share with you some words from Psalm 16 today. The psalmist writes, "Protect me, O God, for in you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. I have no good apart from you. As for the holy ones in the land, they are noble, in whom is all my delight. Those who choose another God multiply their sorrows. Their drink offerings of blood I will not pour out, or take their names upon my lips. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. I have a goodly heritage. I bless the Lord who gives me counsel. In the night also my heart instructs me. I keep the Lord always before me because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad and my soul rejoices. My body also rests secure. For you do not give me up to Sheol, or let your faithful one see the pit. You show me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore." As you can hear and read on your own, if you at some point want to take out Psalm 16 this weekend and read it over for yourselves, it's a psalm that seems to be very much oriented to when our lives are well ordered, when things are reliable, good friends and companions are around us, when everything seems good with us and God and our neighbors and our communities. That has not been our life lately. And so when I first read this, I was like, wow, what can I pull out of here? Or what is God going to say to me through these words that I could convey to you that might be appropriate for our time? Because our lives are different. They've gone from being well ordered to disordered. They've gone from being reliable and full of normal rhythms and routines to being unreliable and sort of out of sync and out of joint. From being hopeful to, I'm not sure. I mean, I think there's hope that we're going to turn the corner and achieve something new in the new year in terms of a vaccine on the horizon, and maybe lives getting back to some normal, or maybe even a better than they used to be normal. I don't know, but right now in the thick of it, here in the holidays, Thanksgiving and coming up Advent and Christmas, when the pandemic still rages, I think it is hard to get up just the energy to be hopeful. I just have this sense that a lot of us are like knit deep into our cocoons, and maybe in the spring we'll rise like butterflies coming out of the cocoons in resurrection and new life. But right now, it kind of seems like we're in the middle of those 3 days in the tomb with Jesus a little bit. But in the midst of it, the psalm is still here with us. It's part of the canon of Scripture, and it's here to say something for us and our lives. And I just want to summarize a little bit as I read it, as I've read it these past couple of days, that the psalmist affirms this deep connection with God. Between the psalmist and God, there's this intimate, joy-filled connection in which there's just goodness is affirmed. And because of that, the psalmist affirms that there's good folk all around, and the people of the land and the community are good and honest and forthright, and things are well amongst the community. There's this really strong statement that I don't associate with the unrighteous or anyone who does things that are against God or God's will. Life is well, the psalmist says. I look to God to keep orienting me and pointing me in the right direction. Rejoicing and a sense of peace and salvation is mine. It fills my heart and body and soul. Joy and life and salvation is what I have received from God and what I am experiencing. Now, for some of us, we may be experiencing that in little ways in our lives. I'm sure that all of us in one way or another have memories of that in the past and hopes for that in the future, if not right now in the present. I know a lot of us have suffered quite a bit of loss, whether it's loved ones or economic loss or a sense of who we are and what our place is in our community or in our nation. Some folks are celebrating the election, others are mourning it. There's a lot of discord still and will be, it seems, for quite a while amongst the people of our nation. But in the midst of that, remember who you are, remember who I am, remember who we are. We did not make ourselves in the first place. The psalmist who says all these wonderful things did not make him or herself. Who they were was a gift from God. The God who created them, the God who promised a land and descendants and blessings. This psalmist reacts to the realization that God has been faithful to God's promises. And this psalmist, she is living it and experiencing it and shouting about it. And that is something I think even us here in this day and age can take some heart in and ask ourselves, do we, even in the midst of this pandemic, trust that God is faithful? That God is faithful to God's promises for us who are followers of Jesus, in and through the Christ, in and through our baptisms. We have been yoked to Jesus, and whether it's in death or in resurrection, we are God's people. In the tough times and the awesome times, we are God's people. This is who we really are. We are not victims of a pandemic, even though we are experiencing the effects of the pandemic. That's not ultimately who we are. We are a people to whom God is faithful. We are a people to whom God gives blessings. We are a people to whom God says, the future is in my hand and I will make a way, a path, straight and clear for you into the future. I will level the tall places down and lift the low places up, and I'll make a path that you can walk on and follow into a future that I'm creating for you. And that is what we lean into. I mean, faith is about leaning into and saying, okay, I'll participate in that. I trust you, God. You seem to be faithful. You seem to be God who fulfills the promises that you make. So, okay, I trust that's your word, and I'm going to live into it. Even if my eyes and my ears and my senses seem to indicate there's a different reality going on right now. There's virus and suffering and dislocation. Okay, that's real, but God, you say you're making a road through that to a new land for us to live and dwell in. Okay, I'll trust that. Having that kind of trusting faith opens up for us the possibility that even in the midst of the times that are difficult and broken and disruptive, that we can experience some joy, some order, some reliability, some hopefulness. I want to leave that with you today. I hope that this is a great weekend for you this weekend after Thanksgiving. We begin on Sunday, the first Sunday of Advent. It's a whole new church year and a whole new year to look forward to and see and hear the new thing that God is going to be up to for us in the new year. God bless you all. I love you. Take care, and we'll see you in church on Sunday virtually. God bless. Bye now.